Hi guys, I'm just going to jump straight into this one. I've got a VWT5 front seat to make up. There's a contrasting panel that's sewn in that has a curve on, so one part of the curve will be orange, that's the internal part, and the external part is going to be black to match the rest of the seats. When it comes to sewing curves, match marks are very important. So if you noticed, there is the black lines here are where the match marks are. So the more curved the piece is, the closer the match marks are together. So if you notice from here to here, there's a bigger distance because the curve isn't quite as severe, so you don't need quite as many match marks. So I'll draw the outside of the pattern first. And then I'll do this internal panel. Remove the pattern. And I will make the match marks a little bit more obvious. I need to add the seam allowance to this line here. So it doesn't matter what seam allowance you use, completely up to you. At the end of the day, I use a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, or 9mm, whichever one you work with. I work in inches, I always have. Just easier to see on a ruler. Cut that panel out. Oops. I'll snip in the match marks. So that's the outside, it's black, and the inside panel is going to be orange. So the seam allowance now is added to this edge. Snip in the match marks. Always snip in the match marks because when you're sewing you'll only be able to see one lot of match marks, which is the piece that you place on top. So the piece that is underneath, you'll not be able to see the match marks. So if you snip it in, then each little V should line up. So there we go, those are the two pieces, one orange and one black. So when you sew them together, they become opposing. So that curve and that curve oppose each other, which makes the job a little bit trickier. So I always sew this kind of curve, an external curve, on top of an internal curve. I'm going to sew it like this. That there, and then it will be sewn around, making sure the match marks all line up as you sew along. If you don't have any match marks on these pieces, then it becomes very tricky to make sure you've got everything in the right place. So the first match mark lines up perfectly. So with curves you need to be very precise on getting the match marks to line up. So that match mark lines up again. So the match mark here is going to line up. You may have to just pull one piece of the fabric more than the other, just gently. You don't want to overstretch anything. That match mark lines up. So as long as all your match marks line up, you should have a well sewn piece. That match mark lines up. That match mark lines up. So there we go. I'll lie it out flat, and there we have it. So I'll turn it over. Now these seams I need to lie flat because I'm going to top stitch them. So what you'll need to do is to snip the external curve and then put little V's in the internal curve. So I'll just put a few little snips in this curve, just so it lies flat. So that'll lie flat there, and then the same here. And then on the internal curve I'll put a few little V's. I'll just put them where the match marks are, not many and not severe. So one there, another one there, same here. So you can see the actual wrinkles here. So where you get the wrinkles, that's where you want to cut the V's. So now I can top stitch this. I'm going to top stitch the black bit first, just because I've got black thread underneath. So when I top stitch, I always top stitch, if I'm doing a contrasting colour, the contrasting colour is the top thread, and the bottom thread will always be the same colour as the fabric I'm sewing through. When I top stitch, I'm making sure that the seam allowance that I've got is folded out. And when you top stitch, always just go slowly. The last thing you want to do is make a mess at this point now. So I'm just using the edge of the foot along the seam. So that's the orange top stitch sewn on. So I'm going to now sew the orange in black, and then the bottom thread to orange. Keep checking that the seam is turned the right way. And there we have it. I hope you found that useful. If you did, hit the subscribe button and please like the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again. Bye.